Afterguard Games Devlog Episode 2, Boss Battle Part 1. Hi there, and welcome back. Jake here of Afterguard Games, glory and fame, here to update you on what we've been up to. After we released our first game, Telerotation, to uproarious acclaim and financial success, netting well over 10 downloads over the course of only 5 months, we of course immediately got to work on our next several projects. The one I'm going to be talking about and giving you an update on today, however, is a small game that'll be a sort of practice run and demo that we're using to find our footing making action games, something that we don't really have a lot of experience with yet. The concept of this small little mini game couldn't be simpler. It's just a single boss fight that the player has to fight and beat. The game currently doesn't have an official title. We've just been calling it Boss Battle internally. I did at one point mock up a little proof of concept title screen which referred to it as just one boss, but it turns out that another game just barely beat us to the punch on that one by about 8 years. So currently the game is just untitled as it stands. Onto the game itself, I made the basic movement mechanics myself, and they're designed to be easily variable and applicable to multiple playstyles and various environments, so that it can potentially be reused in future projects. The player can move, jump, double jump, crouch, attack in all 4 directions, and bounce off of enemies and projectiles. Kind of like most every 2D action game you've probably ever played in your life. And the boss's first phase is basically a free kill, designed to easily let the player explore the controls and interactions freely without much danger, just sort of walking back and forth and impotently thrusting its spear forward occasionally. That's intentional. It's pretty lame, but it's lame on purpose, both mechanically and thematically. Also, all of the details that I mentioned, like jump height, movement speed, attack distance, attack cooldown, number of midair jumps, etc., pretty much everything you can think of, are all easily configurable in the code with simple variable changes. So if anything feels wrong, it's just a matter of changing a number to tweak it until it feels right during testing. I also admittedly sort of guessed at the player size and camera zoom. I thought it looked fine at first, but the more I've been messing around with it recently, the more I think it might benefit from being a little more zoomed in. It kind of feels like you're watching a fight from a mile away right now. I don't know, I'm still sort of going back and forth on it, so let me know what you guys think. Should I zoom the camera in more, or is it fine? Anyway, upon defeating Phase 1, Phase 2 starts, and this is where the fight actually starts, in my opinion. Now the boss actually varies his attacks, and does so such that things like positioning and timing actually matter now. Not to mention the fact that this attack here makes it so you can no longer just pogo on him infinitely. And again, everything here has a purpose. It's a giant test, really. How does it feel to jump and dodge and to avoid attacks? Are the attacks telegraphed enough? Are they telegraphed too much? Stuff like that is what we're trying to figure out to help us get a more intuitive feel for boss design. Since again, the real purpose of this game is to make something fun, yes, but more importantly, it's to learn how to make something fun. One thing I'll say from testing is that the player's attack range still feels fairly small relative to their sprite. You have to get kind of uncomfortably close to the boss to not whiff your swings, so I'll probably tweak that a bit as soon as I finish recording. And finally, we make it to the bare bones of the third stage, which happens to be as far as we've made it in the development process so far. This is what the game actually looks like before I go back and pretty it up with sprites and animations. Just these multicolored rectangles that are representative of hit and hurt boxes. And in fact, this is also the first phase which Julian programmed pretty much entirely by himself. You can tell because he whipped up in a day what probably would have taken me like a week. And honestly, considering that this is what my notes to him looked like regarding what I was imagining for the boss behavior in this phase, and he took that and made this, I think he knocked it out of the park. Now I just have to replace all these rectangles with actual sprites and focus on balancing a little bit more, since right now I suspect that this phase is currently a bit too fast and frantic for the level of difficulty that I'm currently shooting for. And of course, I need to draft an outline for Phase 4, since you already know this is nowhere near the end. So I'm curious to hear, is there anything you guys think would be cool to add to this little tech demo of a game? Honestly, if any suggestions are cool enough, it might end up in there. Who knows? We're still kind of making it up as we go. And let us know if you have any suggestions for ways we might be able to improve the player experience overall, as well as our own design and development skills, since, once again, we're really trying to take this as a learning and improvement opportunity, as opposed to just an excuse to pump out another game. In any case, that's all for this time. I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent with uploads on both of the Afterguard channels. Work has been a little crazy for both of us, both me and Julian, lately, which has been slowing things down quite a bit, both on the video side as well as the actual game development side. But hopefully our schedules will be relaxing soon, which will allow us to work both on the YouTube channels and on the games themselves a lot more in the future. And alright, that's it. I've been Jacob with Afterguard Games, and I'll let you know what we've been up to next time I see you.